Crysis 2 is a game in which you have a superpowered suit called the Nano Suit that gives you access to a whole range of awesome superpowered abilities, all of which are fucking shit. The problem with Crysis 2 is that they gave you all these awesome superpowers and then spent so long trying to balance the game because they were worried it was too easy that it in fact ended up ridiculously hard and stupidly frustrating and completely defeated the purpose of being a badass in a video game. You get a stealth power that is brilliant unless you try to be stealthy with it. You have super speed, which is great provided you don't run. And then you have super strength, which would be great, except for the fact you have to reduce your defense in order to use it, so you get shot to ribbons before you get near enough to someone to punch them in the face. This seems to be a problem with quite a few games this generation. Just look at Infamous, for example, a game that gave you all these brilliant electricity powers, and then put you up against gang members who apparently are also trained marksmen, despite being like 17-year-old youths in Grim Reaper hoodies. They're able to shoot you in the head from 20-foot tall story buildings, and you can only take a few shots before you die. Even Prototype, which I thought was a pretty good game, put you up against overwhelming odds like tanks and helicopters and mutants and all sorts of bastards who could tear you apart within seconds. And then of course there's The Force Unleashed, a game that gave you all these awesome Jedi powers and then put you up against Force-resistant enemies. Force-resistant enemies. When I play a game called The Force Unleashed, I want to play a game where the Force is unleashed. It was anything but unleashed. It was the direct opposite of unleashed. And this is a problem that I think many superhero games face. Developers worry so much about creating a game that's challenging for the hardcore gamer that they don't concentrate on making the game fun. You know, sometimes a game that isn't challenging can be fun. I mean, just look at the Kirby games, for instance. Instead, we've got a game like Crysis that gives you all these superhuman abilities and then balances them to such a degree that they become imbalanced in the game's favour. I mean, who wants to play a stealth game where you can't even run or even walk for a few seconds before the power runs out and the stealth comes off? Or in Crysis's example, a game where you put the stealth on, but sometimes the enemies can just see you anyway, and helicopters always know where you are. It's fucking ridiculous. I want to play a game that lets me be a superhero and makes me feel like a badass. Is that so wrong? I want to play a game like The Force Unleashed, except the Force is unleashed. You know, I'm just running around, you know, choking stormtroopers and throwing droids about, and just have that be the game. A good example would be X-Men Origins, the Wolverine game. Okay, most of the game was just jumping from enemy to enemy, cutting them in half and stabbing them in the face. But that was the point! That's the point of a superhero game, to make you feel like a hero what is super. And I just hope that Crysis 2 and Infamous 2 and any other superhero game that comes along recognises that. Not every game has to be challenging, and not every fucking superhero has to be balanced to a degree where everyman characters like Nathan Drake or even fucking James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2 feels like they're more powerful in a fight. I'd rather, if you asked me to have the guy from Crysis or Nathan Drake with me in a fight, I'd pick Nathan Drake. Because, you know, he can actually survive, and all of his superpowers aren't fucking nerfed to the point of being useless. So yeah, that's what I want. I want superpowers. I want superpowers, not just in games, in real life. Why isn't Obama working on that?